The last part of the Fair Housing Act, within the Reference Guide to Regulatory Compliance, Subpart 2, Credit, on page 157 is Section G, Other National Bank Record-Keeping Requirements. For an inquiry and application log, the coverage is reading that the OCC may require the log if there is no reason to believe the bank is participating in illegal discriminatory practices. When requiring a bank to keep a log, the OCC will specify the location where the information should be obtained, the length of time it must be maintained, the frequency of submission to OCC, and the reason for imposing the requirement. If required to keep a log, the bank must keep information on all inquiries and applications for a home loan or for a government-insured loan. Requirements under the OCC regulation is that a bank must keep the following information on the form provided in Appendix 3. And that, I guess, are pieces of information that would be included in an inquiry application log, including the date of application or inquiry, the type of loan for a purchase, construction, permanent, or refinance, a government insured, whether the loan is government insured, and the type of insurance, and whether the entry is an application or inquiry, case identification to identify the loan file, race and national origin, location and property, complete street address, and census tract if located in a CMSA in which the bank has an office, and a statistical analysis can also be other record-keeping requirement for national banks under OCC regulation. That statistical analysis prior to the OCC exam is to be kept 30 days after the receipt to submit the completed home loan data submission forms, and the OCC will request specific records, and the number of records requested will not exceed 250 per decision center or 2,000 per bank unless there is a reason to believe the bank has been illegally discriminating. The purpose is statistical analysis on home loans, and the requirements is that complete and submit home loan data submission forms for the specific records to the OCC within 30 days after receiving notification. The form is an Appendix 4 to the OCC regulation. The record retention requirements for national banks, Section H, says that a bank must keep all application information for 25 months from the date the applicant is notified of the action taken, and the OCC may extend this record retention requirement. How would they do that? Because under Reg B, 25 months is legitimate. But nevertheless, national non-member banks subject to HMDA must comply with Reg C. All state non-member banks that receive applications for the purchase or refinance of a dwelling to be occupied by the applicant as the principal dwelling must comply with Reg B and request the applicant's ethnicity, sex, marital status, and age. Enforcement. Subsection 3 under the FHA says that civil liability, including actual damages, punitive damages as awarded by the court costs and attorney fees, and if action is brought by a U.S. attorney, may bring penalty up to $50,000 for first violation and $100,000 for subsequent ones. FHA penalties are your usual 3 of $7,500, $37,500, or $1.375 billion. Criminal liability is if no bodily injury in violation can be fined up to $1,000 or imprisoned for up to 1 year. But if there were bodily injury, it can be the criminal can be fined up to $10,000 and imprisoned for not more than 10 years. And if death results then a criminal can be imprisoned for life. The administrative enforcement here is HUD, the Department of Housing and Urban Development, will investigate complaints and of discrimination, and regulatory agencies have uniform enforcement policy for compliance with the Fair Housing Act. I'm like completely confused by that. Oh, I'm still recording. Come on.